Plus, I'll just share my screen and we'll begin with the session. Let me know, class, if you could see my screen. So, the topic for today's web development session is Bootstrap using Grid and Plex. And talking about myself, I work as a cloud and infrastructure engineer at Larsen and Turbo. And today I'll brief everyone about Bootstrap. Like, how do we use Bootstrap in web development using Grid and Plex? Yeah. So let's move ahead with our agenda. So our agenda for today would be like, I'll tell you like what are the versions of Bootstrap we are having, and like how do we include those CDNs in our program, how containers work in Bootstrap, and then we'll cover some programs, like how do we do it using Grid and Plex in HTML. Yeah. So class, the current version for Bootstrap which we use is the Bootstrap 5 version, and then bulk updates regarding versions we get it on the official website for Bootstrap. And then we use Bootstraps like to make our websites dynamic and then responsive. So like herein, if I'm saying is responsive, so what do I mean actually? So if you, let me just have a pointer also. So like if you know class, like if we see our web pages, like if we see our web page in a tab, or if we see our web page in your mobile phone or a particular PC screen, so the resolution which is there is actually, it varies. So for example, you're creating your web page using CSS and HTML. So if you have a image on the top left corner of your web page, and then if you have a image on the right corner, and then in the center also if you have an image, so if there is no Bootstrap included or there is no grid flex included in your program, how like in laptop it will work fine. But if you see the same thing in phone, or if you see the same thing in tablets, the resolution which you see or the image which you see, it might have more spacing, or it might have um, like overlapping on each other, or it might uh, also like it like like the way you have designed your particular web page, it might not appear the similar way you're viewing it on PCs or in laptops, sorry, in PCs or in mobile phones. So the, like to bridge that particular gap, we use Bootstrap, and then we include the CDNs in our HTML programs. So yeah, Bootstrap is the most popular CSS framework for developing a responsive and mobile first websites. And like as I told you, Bootstrap 5 is the newest version we have. And then it includes HTML. Like the how we do, or how Bootstrap is like, will have our normal HTML programs having images and everything would be just same. The thing which we will include in our program is just the CDNs. We'll just import the CDNs from the website, and then we'll just use them. Okay. And then Bootstrap includes HTML and CSS based design templates for topography, forms, buttons, tables, navigations. I'll just show you all these things when I'm doing labs. Okay. And then let's just move to why we use Bootstrap. Is like it is easy to use, and then it has responsive features like it adjusts our entire page on different things, like if it is tablet or if it is mobile phone. So to adjust the pixels or to adjust the sizing, we use this. Okay. And also like browser compatibility. So like Bootstrap 5 is compatible with all the modern browsers, say it Chrome, Firefox, etc. But if you need support for IE 11 and down version, you must either use BS4 and BS3. Okay. And then, as I told you class, we just have to make sure, like to use Bootstrap, we just have to make sure that we're using Bootstrap application uh, based on the compatible version to your laptops, or either we import this CDNs from the official website. So there are two ways to start using Bootstrap 5 on your website. So you can mainly use it you can include the Bootstrap 5 from a CDN, or you can download it from getbootstrap.com. So I'll just show you how it looks. So if you open Google and then if you type Bootstrap, so like the first page which appears, that is getbootstrap.com, we have to open that one. And then how it, like if you can see like the current version is 5.1.3. You can maybe what you can do is you can download it from here, or what we have to do is you can include this particular CDNs which I have included in my PPT. So this particular CDN is for CSS, and then the second CDN is like content delivery network, is for JavaScript bundle with Popper. So mainly like what we have to do is like whenever we are writing any kind of HTML program, we just have to include this CDNs in the title section of our program. Okay. So like this is the website, and these are the two CDNs available on the official website. There are many others also which you can explore it from here. So yeah, these are the two CDNs available. For one is for JavaScript Popper, and the other one is for CSS. Okay. And then, so as I told you, like in every programming languages we have, like in C++, we have functions, um, we have classes, we have divisions. So here in Bootstrap, what we have is containers. So the reason why we use containers is like it's the most basic layout element in Bootstrap, and it is mainly required when we are using grid. Okay. And like if we want to use container in our program, like the keyword which we have to use is container, like as I have mentioned in my example, div class is equal to container, and inside my container I can declare a grid, or I can use grid, or I can use flex, anything according to my wish. And mainly we use containers to have alignment, padding, and then margining in my HTML program. Yeah. And then let's move ahead to grid. So what is grid is like Bootstrap grid is used for layout, specifically responsive layout. And then the layout is made up of grouping of rows and columns, where horizontal line is my row and vertical line is my column. Okay. And then Bootstrap grid allows us to make up to 12 columns across the page. Okay. And then if you want to use all these 12 columns individually, you can group the columns together to create a wider column. Okay. So what do I mean here is, so for example, I want to use grid in my program, HTML program. Okay. Let me just expand it to presentation view, and then I'll have a pointer. So in grid, what happens class is, so mainly it is divided into 12 parts. For example, this is my entire screen. For example, this is my particular web page, and I'm using grid here. So like every section of my page is divided into 12 parts here. So this would be my first part, second part, third part, fourth part, and so on, continue till 12. You can see here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And here in the horizontal line is my row, and the vertical line is my column. Okay. So like for example, if I am okay, I'll just show you when I'm writing. So whenever you're using grid class, we always have to make sure that the total column count should always be 12. For example, we have to display 3 items in my particular web page. So for example, my first image should be displaying here, the second should be here, and the third should be here. So what I'll do is like 4 4 4. So whenever I'm using it, the div item which I'll use here is 4. The column count which I'll be having is 4 4 4 count, to make it a sum of 12. Okay. So the basic, there's also a disadvantage in grid. Like whenever you're writing your program, we always have to make sure like the total count should always be 12 in that case. So I'll just show you how do we include in my program also. And also class in grid we have breakpoints. Okay. So what is this breakpoint, and how does that matter? Okay. So like we have 5 to 6 breakpoints. So if I want to display a particular web page in a smaller view, for example, give a phone, so in that case I can include a breakpoint of XS. Okay. So what is XS is for phone screens less than 768 pixel wide. We can use SM for tablet screen, which is 768 pixel wide, and then we can use MD for laptops, LG for desktops having a screen size equal to or greater than 1200 pixels. And then actually we have more too, that is extra large and extra extra large, but the default breakpoints which is available in grid class is this 4. These are the default ones, and the other two also we have We can also use those as well if you're um, having a screen size bigger than desktop. So the classes above can be combined to create more dynamic and flexible layouts. Like, am I clear? Like, is grid concept clear, class? Like, you'll become more aware once I do the labs. Okay, so let's just move ahead. So this is my sample code class. As I told you, like for margining and for padding, I'll be using container. Within a container class, I'll be using um, my grid element. So as I told you, right, like here my breakpoint is SM. Okay, and how I'm dividing my, like I'm just making a row, and inside my row what my column size is 4 4 4. So how it would be divided, like this would be my first element, then this would be my second element, and this would be my third element. So here I'll have example 1, here I'll have example 2, and in the third section I'll have example 3. So like mainly this is what grid does. Like we use it to rearrange the layout of websites depending on its screen size, like, okay. And also using bootstrap grid, like we can create a page which will have different layout on desktop, and then which will have different layout on tablets and other screens, like web responsive pages. And what is flex class? So in flex, what do we have is flex is mostly similar to grid, but here in flex what we do not have is like it does not have 12 parts which we were having in grid. And also we use flex because it's default, because it also has some uh, a default flex classes, okay. And then yeah, use flex classes to control the layout of bootstrap for components. And then, like, you know what is the difference between here, between flex and grid is, like, here I have used 4 4 4 divisioning, and every time when I'm using grid I have to make sure that my total screen size is 12, and I'm dividing my elements into uh, equal like however my web page should look. For example, I can also have, if I want to display two elements which should have an equal partitioning on my web page, so in that case what I can do is I can have 6 6 divisioning. But in flex it does not happen in that case. For example, if I'm using flex and if I have to declare three elements, I can do it using div. And like flex row is one entire entire row. And then I'll also show you what are the classes there. For example, this keyword which we always have to use, like d hyphen flex, and then it going ahead, it can be anything. For example, flex hyphen row, reverse, or between, or around, depending on how do I want to display all the three elements in my program. And then like I'll also show you how do we include a hyperlink, or how do we link another web page using grid and flex class. Like everything would be just normal, and the only thing which will change is my whether if I'm using grid I have to just include the cdns, or if I'm using flex I have to include the flex classes. That's it. So let's just move on to the lab. So yeah, class, let's just do it. So as I told you, I'll be including the cdns from the official website. So let's just copy this first. Every time, class, when we are writing a bootstrap program, we have to include this cdns in the header section of my program always. So like this doc type html is mainly to define this that this particular document is of html type. And then we have html in header section. So header section, mostly in the header section of my program I'll declare the cdns available, okay. And then let's just also include the popper one. So I have included the other other thing also. And then what I'll do is now, because I have to enter here because every time my cursor will not work. So in this case, what I'll do is I'll close the header section now because I have included all the CDNs which are needed to run a Bootstrap program. And then class, as I told you, in the body section of my program, what I'll do is I'll first create a container. What I'll write is, I do not know what happens to my angular brackets every time div class is equal to container. So if I'm declaring a container, the word container is important. container, okay? And then let's just move out of my container, and then I'll declare a row if class is equal to row. And then class, as I told you, like we have to make sure like this is a grid program, okay? Not Bootstrap example. This is a Bootstrap example for grid. Herein I have created a row, and inside my row what I'm dividing is I'll divide my columns, okay? Divide class div class is equal to call, and here my breakpoint which I'm using is sm, okay? Sm hyphen, and then I'm dividing it with an equal size of 6. And then inside this what I'll write is h2 item 1 as h2, and then I'll close my div. And then the other section also I have to make sure that I'm having this thing. Just copy div class all sm6, and then item 2 we are having in the other section. And then I have closed my div. I have to do it one more time. Slash div one more time for the upper one, and then I'll close the body section. The reason class I'm just going it a bit lengthy is because uh, like if you're using notepad plus everything, like opening, if you are making an opening one, closing ones comes automatically, but it's better to go the longer path. Yeah, so class, here in this program what I have done is I have included this two CDNs. One is the CSS CDN and the other one is JavaScript bundle with popper one. And then I have closed my header section of the program. And then in the body section of my program what I have done is I have created a container. I have created a container class to make sure my padding and alignment works fine with the grid program. And then I have created a column, and I've divided it, and I've like divided my screen into two sections, like one is 6 and the other part is 6. And then that's it. Let's just save the program. This is structure, right? I'll go to Bootstrap. So if you see as well, like till here it is the first section, and from here it is the second section of my program. This is how grid works. And also if we see, let's just have one more division here. Okay, open with notepad. So as I told you, like every time in your grid program, the total call count should always be 12. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll copy one and then I'll paste below. So what I'm doing here is I'll make this as 444. Okay. So now I have three equal sections of a particular page, and then this would be my item 3. Let's just save it and then see what happens. So class, you can just see, like I just divided my 12 count into three sections of 444. So till here it is 1, till here it is 2, and the remaining it is 3. So if we want to see the resolution, we'll just click on inspect. Okay. And then if I just click here class, I'll be able to see this particular web page, like how it looks in a phone. So this is how it will look in my phone. So if you could just see the alignment which was there and the padding which was there on a web page, it is just similar how it is just similar to how it looks in my on my in my tablet view or in my phone view also. So you can just see the responsive website, and if I just click here iPhone XR also, this would be the similar view. Like there would be no overlapping of any element. If I just click 12 Pro, or if I just have Surface Pro, so if you click any kind of resolution, be it a screen or be it a tablet or be it anything, the dimension, everything would just remain intact and responsive. Nothing would change on my web page. Is this grid concept clear, class, to everyone? Class, am I clear? Or is this clear? Any doubts anyone is having? Hello, hello.
No.
Yeah. So this is what was grid concept all about. And then let's just move to another thing, the programs. What do I have here? Notepad. Okay, this is the same program. So class, this program is mainly to include links in your programs. I also covered this topic when I was covering basic HTML and CSS, but yeah, no worries. We'll just do it once again using Bootstrap. So herein also I have included these two CDNs which were available on the official website. Okay, and then herein what I'm displaying on my web page is just a simple link, and here we are not having any kind of, or we can do one thing, we can just copy this link here and then we can copy to our structured program in item 3. Let's see how does this link works. So here what I'm doing is I'm just displaying this particular link in my grid program in the third item. So if you could just see class using in like if I'm using any kind of link also, if it was an image also, so that would also display in this in the ratio which we have given in our program. So like herein I've given 444, we can also have it as 6, and then for the remaining one what I can do is I can have 3 and then 3. I just save it. So you can see class like this is my one part which is 6, which I have given in my grid program, and this is the second part wherein I've divided my element in 333 in 3 3. If I click on the link, it would work. Similarly class, you can also use or you can also display images, like the place where I've put in link, you can just place imgsrc and whatever image you want to put in. So yeah, I hope that is clear. Like in grid or any kind of program class, there is one concept which would be differing and other things would just remain constant, as I told you. So in this case, we just have to remember the CDNs which I showed you, and everything would just remain same. I'll just copy the CDNs over chat so that everyone could make a everyone could keep it intact with them. So this is my first CDN for CSS, and the second CDN which I have is Popper. And class, like you always have to make sure that you're including these two CDNs at least. Otherwise, your program for JavaScript, for your program for Bootstrap won't work. So this was my grid CDNs, and also let's just do a program for Flex. So I'll use this structure itself. Structure. So I'll just remove all these things. So class, as I told you, like in Flex, what will happen is I'll just have to write my items using div, and other things like I don't have to give any kind of partitioning here. Okay, so I have taken a note, and what I'll do is div class is equal to p hyphen flex, as I told you, is the keyword. And then what I'm doing here is I'll just write flex hyphen flex hyphen content hyphen around. So what this would do is like this would display my three items below into equal sizes. Item 1, let's just close it, slash div. I'll copy it. And then I'll save this program. I just also use here -3 as my, just save it. Okay, so here I can use also justify, which will justify my content, and then around two equal sizes. So let's just run it. So if you could see class, like if I'm using around in my flex class, what it would do is like it would divide my elements equally. So this is one item, this is two, and then this is my third division section. But also if I just do it as center, open with notepad, and then if I do here as center instead of around, it depends class like what kind of alignment you want it, as around, or if you want it as a center, in the center alignment of your web page. So it's just according to, see, if I'm just putting here in center, all my content will be displayed in center. And also like let's just do here what was happening is like my items are displayed. Okay, so for that I have to give a proper numbering 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and then save my program. But here how I want to display is 3, 2, 1 in my in the reverse order. I want to display all my rows. So what I'll do, I'll just remove this one, and then I have to use this class, which is flex hyphen row hyphen reverse. So I want to display my row in a reversal order. So you could just see flex 3, 2, 1, and then it is displayed in a reverse order of my web page. Any doubts, class? Anybody is having
No, ma'am.
in grid or in flex? Any doubts on the CDN part? Or we can also, but I do not have an image in this laptop. Let's see if we can display an image. If I have an image, I can run that program. This is confidential. Okay, let me download it from PPT. So I'll just name this image as ABC. And I'll save it. And what I'll do is now I'll display the images using grid in my program. So where is the program? The name is ABC, right? So you're in class. As I told you, what we have to do is, I'll just have to make sure if is here, and then in this what I'm writing here is img src is equal to abc dot jpg. Okay, and then I'll copy the similar stuff below. And grid, in grid also class, like how I was displaying like item 1, item 2, item 3, so you can display like that images or any stuff which you want to align in your website. Okay, so there's only one time in which my image came in. Let's just check. So class, I hope this is clear. So if you want to display any kind of images or any kind of link or anything in a in or and also you want to make sure that the synchronization works the same way in which like the way it works on laptop or the way the way it works in tablets or mobile phones. So mainly to make our websites more responsive and to align them, we use Bootstrap. Am I clear, class? And all the concepts are clear which I covered today. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, so do you have any codes or examples for a web page would look like without Bootstrap? Okay, so who is this? So okay, so what will happen is like you can just also do what you can do is you can just use a normal like no write a normal HTML program without using. Okay, let's just do it. I'll just this is my structure, right? Open with, where is open with? So what will happen is if I just remove these things, okay, so all of us saw how my program was how everything was looking without with grid. Okay, so now I'll just what I'll do is I'll just run it without Bootstrap now. So I've just used an image and then I want to run it without anything. So you can just see how it looks and then let's just try to inspect it. So okay, and then let's just try to view it on XR. See right now, if you can just see here how my margin padding and alignment is here for the image, it is 819460, right? And then if I just do it on iPhone XR, so like herein you can you just see like the person who just asked question to me, if you can just see the alignment and the thing and how it appears, like the spacing and everything on web page, if I was using Bootstrap, and then herein if I'm using, so you might not be able to get a clear picture because herein I have just used one image. So if I just have another image herein and then I have contents here on my web page, and if there's no Bootstrap, it will just overlap on each other. If you could see the differences appearing. And herein if I just change the alignments, it would differ, class. The reason why it is not showing here is because I've used only one image. You just try using 2 3 images and then you just try inspecting it. There would be a difference which you would notice if the if it is not Bootstrap. It is one image, that's why it's not occurring, and also it is just a small tagging image. try an error method. What happens if it's just a normal HTML program, and if you're using Bootstrap by including the CDS and containers. Yeah. Anything else, class? I can help you. Any doubts on anything, or any questions for me? Okay. So, class, have a very nice evening, and then you'll get your assignments from your leaders. And then, if you're having any doubts in that case regarding web development or Bootstrap or any other topics, you can always reach out to me. Yeah. Thank you, class. Bye bye.